We're Laura and Brian, better known as a couple of Quins. We love our city of Dayton, old houses, and dogs.
We bought a fixer-upper during the pandemic and have been taking our time with the restoration.
But with winter ahead, it's time to turn up the heat.
We've officially accepted the one-room challenge to turn this house into an Airbnb in just 8 short weeks.
But can we finish on time?
The joys of home ownership.
We hope you'll follow along to see what's next.
We are on week 5 of the one-room challenge. So this week and then 3 more weeks to go, and we will hopefully be finished with the fed here. So this week we are focusing on the attic, which is a space that we have not done anything to yet. So when we bought the house, it pretty much looked like the state that it's in now.
Wow.
Well, minus the holes in the floor, because Brian's been working on the electrical.
Yeah, I did that.
So our plan for this week is to get all of the tack strips out of the floor. At one point in time, this space was carpeted. When we purchased the house, the carpet had already been ripped out. So thankfully we didn't have to worry about that. But there are a ton of little nails and just little things sticking in the floor, not to mention all the paint drips. So let's talk about these floorboards. One of our mysteries to solve this week is what type of wood this is. We know that it's pine. However, the seller told us that somebody told her that it might be heart pine. So I have been researching antique heart pine online. I don't know if this is truly heart pine or not, but heart pine is essentially the oldest part of a pine tree, specifically from pine trees that are, I think I read, a minimum of 300 or 400 years old. You can't even get new heart pine because the pine trees that they grow now are harvested before the trees are even old enough to create heart pine, because it is that old growth center part of the tree. So some of the tips that we've found online to determine whether or not it's heart pine is looking at the grain. They said that the grain will be high contrast, which this kind of is. It's hard to tell because it's so dirty and it's been exposed, so it's aged. The underside of the board is actually beautiful where it's been hidden. The other tip number 2 was that the knots will be very, very small. So I don't know if this is heart pine or not, because even just this knot here is like 1.5 inches, and I think that it said they would be like 1/2 inch in size. I don't know. I read this late last night, so at this point everything's kind of blurring together. But the third tip that I read was to look at the edge of a board and count the rings. And they said that
close together that the rings are.
Yeah, they said within 1 inch you should have 30 or more rings, I think it said. So I'm gonna guess, based on the information online, that this is not true heart pine. I do want to make sure before we do anything to it. So we're gonna take some pictures. We're gonna send them over to Ruckworth and see if they know. And then we'll go from there. So basically, if it's not heart pine, don't hate me, we're gonna paint the floors. But that's because of the condition, the amount of paint that's already on them, our crunch time, all of those factors. I also think painted like a really nice bright white or something like that will just look really good in here, and it's an easy solution. However, if this is truly heart pine, I don't have the heart to paint it, so if that's the case, it's gonna be a lot more work because we're gonna sand it, get this paint off, and try to finish it the best we can. It's never going to be like a truly finished floor. It'll always be kind of rough, but that look is kind of in right now, and it can be beautiful in its own right. I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, our other big projects up here are to work on the lighting. As it stands currently, there's some weird things going on. And there's some buzzing coming from this guy.
Yeah, that's kind of a concern.
The buzzing's gotta go. So I'll be fixing that. And, you know, we'll be pulling out all the screws and stuff from the walls and trying to patch up some of the weird cracks and all that kind of stuff. And a whole lot of painting. So, yeah, we'll see what we can do up here.
Sayonara, spiders. We have now been working for about 5 hours. It's going on 5 o'clock. We're gonna be working here pretty late tonight, but wanted to give you an update on what we have done so far. So I got everything swept. Brian got all of the floorboards put back in place. That's looking real good. I got all of the holes in the walls filled, and I'm working on everything up here, which hasn't been the easiest because of the angle of the ceiling, but it's definitely looking better than it was. So at this point, I'm gonna start painting all of the trim. So basically everything that's white in here is gonna get painted black.
Today we've got some free helpers. My parents. We have been busting our butts up here today. Thankfully, Brian's parents came and helped us with a little bit of work. I don't know if you can tell a big difference in the floor, but we got every single staple out. We got the nails nailed down and screws screwed back into place. So it's looking a lot better. Next up, painting the walls.
So it just got dark, and we kind of finished up what we were doing at the Fed, and now we're going to walk over. Our neighborhood has a little like pumpkin thing going on.
It's called the Stoddard Pumpkin Glow, and it's on a hill, and there's hundreds of pumpkins that neighbors and volunteers have carved. So we're gonna go check it out.
Like if they don't sell like a postcard of them all, I'd buy a postcard. Yeah. Look what cool stars. Look what. Who is that? That's who?
So, I can't believe that both of us have lived in Dayton our entire lives, and this is our first time ever attending this event. It has been awesome. We love it.
Cool.
The night is perfect, the weather's perfect. It just feels perfect for Halloween.
Yes, it is real cold though.
It's starting to creep in a bit.
We're back at it today. We're going to try to finish up all the painting. Well, we're starting with all of the corners that we couldn't really get with the roller. And I'm going to pop all of these face plates off, and we're going to get behind those. And then we're also going to paint the inside portion of these doors white to match the walls. At first we thought the whole door could be black, but then we just kind of liked the idea of filling in on the center. Something a little bit more like that. But, you know, painted a little nicer.
It's not cut in yet.
It is not cut in.
Yeah, I think painting the inside of the doors white will keep it from feeling too heavy. Otherwise, I'm worried it's just going to be like black splotches all around the room. And I want it to have a little bit of a better flow. So that's why we're doing it. I think it'll look good.
But there's a couple of things that we're not going to get finished today in terms of painting, and that's the inside of this space and the floors. I don't know if we've said this yet or not, but we're pretty positive this is not heart pine. Every indicator that we read online just doesn't match this stuff. So we're just gonna go ahead and paint it.
And we're standing on the stairs. There's nowhere else to stand. That's it for this week. We're exhausted. We're heading to family dinner right now. And I think we're gonna continue more on the attic as well as some more things around the house. We'll see you then.
We're gonna finish up the attic and it's gonna be awesome.
Yes, finish the attic.